Sets of 5 they're our most powerful tool for getting strong. All right, now if you want to get big and strong, does a guy with a 185-pound deadlift have as big a back as a guy with a 495-pound deadlift? And the obvious answer is no, he doesn't. So if he gets his sets of 5 up from 185 to 500 pounds, what happens to the size of his back? 8s and 10s are light weights relative to 5s, and they don't make you as strong because they don't have the ability to cause you to produce as much force as a set of 5 does. Now, the apparent theory here is that you get hypertrophy first, and then you make that bigger muscle stronger. Well, that's stupid. That's stupid. I don't care what the guys writing papers about this are saying. That's not what happens in the gym. That may be what happens in these guys' ex-phys lab. But that's not what happens in gyms across the world. What happens in gyms across the world is that you do sets of 5 and you add 5 pounds, and you do sets of 5 and you add another 5 pounds, and you do sets of 5 until that stops working.
Well, it doesn't even happen in their labs because the studies are designed very poorly, right? So you're going to see what you want to see.
There is not just hardly any exercise physiology publication being done right now that's worth reading.
And it doesn't matter because we have all the data we need, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens every single day.
Yeah, we have data because what we have is people doing their 5s. And we compare that to people doing their 10s. And what do we see? The guys doing their 5s are stronger, and they're also bigger because that's the same thing. Hypertrophy is strength. Strength is hypertrophy. That is how muscles get stronger. They grow in cross-sectional area. That's the mechanism by which strength is obtained. You stress a muscle, it adapts to that stress. Now, if you stress it at the level of loading permitted by sets of 5, it's going to be producing more force than the classic sets of 20. That said, 20 squat program's been around for 30 years. It doesn't work. You know how I know it doesn't work? Because I did it. And that is training for your psychology. It's not actual physical training because it doesn't work. It doesn't make you bigger. It doesn't make you stronger. And you can't do it for more than about 6 weeks at a time. You can't do it because it's too fucked up and hard and psychologically stressful. You can't do it. You know, I know this personally. What you can do is add 5 pounds to your sets of 5 on a regular basis. Whether it's workout to workout like a novice will do, or week to week like an intermediate trainee will do, or 2 weeks to 3 weeks like an advanced trainee would do. You can add 5 pounds. And 5 pounds in some situations may mean 2 pounds. Might mean 1.5 pounds. Depending on the exercise.
Are you saying the metabolic activity? All right. There's no more metabolic activity that occurs during 10 reps as opposed to the 5 reps.
It's acute versus chronic.
The 5 reps.
Now,
yeah.
A set of 10 is a different metabolic event than a set of 5.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay. It may be, right?
It probably is at some level. It's not aerobic, you know, but there may be more anaerobic glycolysis going on as opposed to just the use of in situ ATP in a set of 10 than there is in a set of 5. But who gives a shit?
Yeah,
the salient point here is that a set of 10 is lighter in weight and lower in force production than a set of 5. You know what you find out when you do sets of 20? This is what you find out when you do sets of 20. The 20th rep feels like shit, but it moves at the same bar speed as the 5th rep. That's what you find out doing sets of 20. It wasn't any harder. It's not any heavier. It just is more awful.
Yeah, it's not objectively harder.
It's not objectively harder.
An easy way, a better way to think about this is to think in terms of systemic stress. Now, not what it feels like to actually do these things, because people conflate the two ideas. How hard does something feel versus the process that's actually occurring when you accumulate stress over time with heavier and heavier loads. So the set of 8 or consistently doing sets of 8 isn't as systemically stressful as working at a higher force production, at a higher force production level. So working at sets of 5. Because of that, your muscles grow. It's more metabolically stressful, and all these things that you're worried about get taken care of as a result of pursuing strength that just doesn't happen when you're working in the 8 to 10 to 12 rep range. It just stops working much sooner. It's not stressful enough. Is a really
it's not
easy
heavy
way to think
enough.
About it. Yeah,
it's sets of 12 are not heavy enough to make you stronger. And if you're not getting stronger, your muscles are not getting bigger. Muscles don't just get bigger because you did a bunch of reps. Muscles get bigger because they have to adapt to the stress of your training.
Right.
That's why they get bigger. And 5s produce the kind of stress that cause muscles to grow much better than sets of 12. And I